New Terra was supposed to be a simple colony. Terraformed grasslands, modest research stations, agricultural settlements scattered across rolling plains. It was the last place anyone would expect a major confrontation. The first wave of alien ground troops descended like metallic raindrops. Their advanced combat suits gleamed with technology that seemed generations ahead of human equipment. Massive energy weapons, gravity manipulation systems, personal shields that could deflect conventional ammunition. What the aliens didn't know was that humans had been preparing for this moment for decades. Underground networks activated, quantum disruption mines triggered beneath alien landing zones, electromagnetic pulse generators hidden in seemingly innocent agricultural equipment began to warm up. Every piece of ground had been prepared, every potential invasion route calculated. The first alien ground units took 3 steps before their advanced technology simply stopped working. Commander Choi watched as the alien invasion force discovered something terrifying. Human preparedness was not about superior technology. It was about adaptation, creativity, and an absolute refusal to surrender. Farmers' irrigation systems became weapon conduits. Agricultural research stations transformed into improvised defense platforms. Colonists who moments ago were harvesting crops now moved with military precision. The Meridian fleet had expected a simple occupation. They found a nightmare. Improvised weapons emerged from hidden caches, farming equipment modified into defensive platforms, communication networks that the aliens couldn't understand or interrupt. They think we're primitive, Choi muttered to his second-in-command, Elena Rodriguez. They have no idea. Alien troops found themselves fighting an enemy that didn't play by any known military rulebook. When their advanced sensors failed, human defenders used simple radio communication. When their energy weapons malfunctioned, humans used mechanical projectiles. The battle lasted less than 6 hours. By sunset, the Meridian landing force had been completely destroyed. Not defeated. Destroyed. The massive circular chamber hummed with tension as representatives from a dozen alien civilizations settled into their designated seats. At the center stood Captain Jod Park, a lean human with sharp eyes and a datapad that seemed to pulse with information. The Galactic Council had convened for an emergency session, and most delegates expected another routine diplomatic discussion. What they would receive was a warning that would change everything. Captain Park activated the holographic display. Scenes from human history flickered around him. Wars, technological breakthroughs, moments of incredible survival against impossible odds. The aliens watched, some with curiosity, most with dismissive looks. Humans are not what you believe them to be, Park began. His voice was calm, almost clinical. We are not just another emerging species. We are a potential threat unlike anything this council has encountered. A Trell representative, a tall creature with crystalline skin, clicked its appendages in obvious amusement. Another primitive species thinking itself important. It translated through its communication device. Park didn't react. Instead, he showed footage of human technological progression. In just 2 centuries, humans had gone from basic combustion engines to quantum computing, from wooden ships to interstellar exploration. What took other species millennia, humans accomplished in decades. Our adaptability is our greatest weapon, he explained. We don't just solve problems. We transform them into opportunities. The hologram shifted, showing human military history. Conflicts where smaller forces defeated seemingly insurmountable opponents. Strategies that defied traditional military logic. Innovations born from desperation and creativity. Ambassador Kira Lee, seated in the observation section, watched intently. She was the only alien truly listening, truly understanding the potential implications of Park's presentation. Park highlighted humanity's most critical characteristic, resilience. Videos showed humans surviving extreme environments, recovering from massive global challenges, pushing technological boundaries when logic suggested surrender. We are not asking for permission, Park said. We are providing a warning. No prisoners. No survivors. Just smoking wreckage and confused alien commanders looking at data streams that made no sense. In orbit, the Meridian Fleet commander stared in disbelief. How could a colony with such limited technology resist a full invasion force? The combat reports seemed impossible. Choi knew this was just the beginning. "Send the message," he told Rodriguez. A simple transmission went out. Not a declaration of war. Not a threat. Just a clear, direct communication. "We are humans. We defend ourselves." The stars above New Terra seemed to shimmer with a new kind of possibility. Something had changed. The galaxy would never be the same. Back on the alien mothership, confusion turned to a new emotion, something the Meridian had not felt in generations. Fear. The Global Response Center in Geneva buzzed with intense energy. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the center, her team working with a speed and precision that bordered on controlled chaos. The New Terra incident had changed everything, and humanity was now in full preparation mode. Across research facilities worldwide, scientists worked overtime. Military strategists, technology experts, and innovation teams collaborated in ways never seen before. The alien threat had become a catalyst for unprecedented human cooperation. "We need solutions," Rodriguez told her team. "Not just defensive strategies, offensive capabilities that will make them reconsider attacking us." Governments that had previously been rivals now shared research. Technology development accelerated at an impossible rate. What would normally take decades was compressed into weeks. The Meridian Fleet wasn't waiting. Their next attack came swiftly, targeting human colonies on the outer planetary rim. They believed their previous failure was a simple miscalculation. They were wrong. Orbital defense platforms emerged that defied current technological understanding. Quantum communication networks that could not be intercepted. Adaptive camouflage technologies that made human ships virtually invisible to alien sensors. Each human colony now operated like a complex, living organism. Integrated defense systems, rapid response protocols, every civilian trained in basic defense and survival techniques. The aliens discovered something terrifying. Humans learned faster than they could adapt. Their first major assault on the Proxima colonies met with a response that shocked military analysts across the galaxy. Human ships didn't just defend. They counterattacked with strategies that seemed to come from multiple potential futures simultaneously. Commander Park, leading the human defense fleet, used techniques that broke every known rule of space combat. Ships moved in patterns that shouldn't have been possible. Communication networks operated on principles alien technology couldn't comprehend. "We don't fight like them," Park told his command team. "We fight like us." Technological breakthroughs happened weekly. Medical nanobots that could repair spacecraft damage in minutes. Energy weapons that could be constructed from basic colony equipment. Communication systems that could coordinate complex military operations using minimal energy. The Meridian Fleet began to realize they had made a catastrophic mistake. Human colonies were no longer just settlements. They were fortresses, living, breathing systems of defense and innovation. Research facilities became more than scientific centers. They were now weapons development platforms that could transform entire technological landscapes in days. Every attack made humans stronger. Every attempted invasion became a learning opportunity. The galaxy watched in growing concern. This wasn't just another species defending itself. This was something entirely different. Alien intelligence networks struggled to understand human behavior. Their predictive models collapsed. Strategies that worked against hundreds of other species failed completely when applied to humans. Rodriguez's team developed a technological platform that could predict and counter alien invasion strategies before they were even implemented. It wasn't just defense. It was a form of technological precognition that seemed almost impossible. "We are not fighting a war," Rodriguez told her team. "We are rewriting the rules of conflict." The human response was becoming legendary, not through overwhelming force, but through an unprecedented ability to adapt, learn, and transform challenges into opportunities. Alien military commanders began to realize a terrifying truth. Humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were a force of nature. The escalation had begun, and humanity was just getting started. The Proxima Centauri system became the stage for humanity's most critical confrontation. Captain Mira Kim stood on the bridge of the experimental starship, Resilience, her hands steady on the navigation controls. Around her, a crew of carefully selected professionals moved with a precision that seemed almost choreographed. Target acquired, her weapons specialist, Jun Park, announced. The Meridian Fleet's main battle group filled the view screen, a massive collection of ships that had decimated countless civilizations. They looked unstoppable, unbeatable, until today. Humanity had been preparing for this moment, not just with weapons, but with an entirely new approach to space combat. The Resilience wasn't just a ship, it was a living technological system that could adapt faster than any computer had ever done before. Its hull contained quantum processors that could make tactical decisions in microseconds. Its weapons were not just tools, but intelligent systems that could predict and counter enemy movements. "They don't understand us," Captain Kim said quietly. "And that's our greatest weapon." The battle began unlike any previous space conflict. Human ships didn't form traditional battle lines. They moved like living organisms, each vessel communicating and adapting in real time. Where alien tactics expected rigid formations, humans created chaos. Meridian weapons, designed to destroy conventional spacecraft, found themselves useless against ships that could instantly reconfigure their energy signatures. Targeting systems collapsed. Communication networks became scrambled. What the aliens saw as a small human fleet, Captain Kim understood as a complex, living network of technological intelligence. Each human ship carried multiple backup systems. If one method of defense failed, another was already in motion. Quantum entanglement communication meant that even if individual ships were destroyed, their tactical information continued to flow. "They're trying to predict our movements," Jun Park observed. "But we don't have movements. We have possibilities." The battle transformed from a military engagement to something more profound. It was a demonstration of human potential. Every alien tactical algorithm collapsed. Every predictive model failed. Humanity wasn't fighting with technology. They were fighting with imagination. Smaller human ships darted between massive Meridian battlecruisers, using gravitational fields and unprecedented maneuverability. They weren't just avoiding damage. They were systematically dismantling the alien fleet's strategic capabilities. Communication intercepts revealed growing panic among Meridian commanders. Their battle networks, which had conquered hundreds of civilizations, were falling apart against an enemy that didn't follow any known rules of engagement. "We're not trying to win a battle," Captain Kim told her crew. "We're showing them what humans are capable of." By the battle's end, the Meridian fleet had lost over 70% of its combat vessels, not through overwhelming firepower, but through a complete breakdown of their understanding of warfare. The survivors would carry a message back to their leadership. Humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were a fundamental change in how intelligent life could exist. As the Resilience returned to human space, Captain Kim knew this was more than a military victory. It was a turning point in galactic history. Humanity had just rewritten the rules of conflict, of technology, of survival itself. And they were just getting started. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the human delegation entered. No weapons, no dramatic gestures, just presence. Ambassador J. Park walked with a calm that felt more threatening than any military display. Behind him, a diverse team of human representatives moved with a collective purpose that made alien delegates involuntarily retreat. The chamber's advanced holographic systems seemed to dim slightly, as if the technology itself recognized something significant was happening. "We are here," Park announced, "to discuss the future." Alien representatives who had previously laughed at human warnings now sat in absolute stillness. The Battle of Proxima Centauri had changed everything. Humanity was no longer a potential threat. They were a definitive power. Video records of human technological achievements played silently around the chamber. Technological jumps that took other species millennia, humans had accomplished in decades. Medical breakthroughs, space exploration innovations, adaptive technologies that redefined scientific understanding. The Trell representative, who once mocked humans as primitive, now looked like a frightened creature. Its crystalline skin seemed to tremble slightly. "We do not seek conflict," Park continued, "but we will defend ourselves with every resource available." Each human representative carried something unique. Not weapons, not traditional diplomatic tools, but something more powerful, the collective human capacity for innovation, adaptation, and survival. Alien intelligence networks had tried to understand humans. They had failed completely. Humans didn't just solve problems. They transformed them. They didn't just adapt. They reimagined entire systems of existence. The orbital domain representative, an energy-based life form, attempted to communicate. Its transmission felt hesitant, almost fearful. Park's response was simple. "We are here to collaborate, not to conquer. But make no mistake, we will protect ourselves." The message was clear. Humanity wasn't asking for permission. They were stating a new galactic reality. Decades of human development had culminated in this moment, not through military might alone, but through an unprecedented ability to learn, grow, and transform challenges into opportunities. Outside the chamber, human ships patrolled strategic galactic regions, not as an aggressive force, but as a protective presence. Each vessel represented generations of human innovation, technological brilliance, and an unbreakable spirit. The alien delegates understood something profound in that moment. Humans were not just another species to be categorized or controlled. They were a force of nature. As the meeting concluded, no formal agreements were signed. No traditional diplomatic protocols were followed. Just a clear, unspoken understanding. The galaxy had changed. Humanity had arrived. And nothing would ever be the same again. Ambassador Park's final words echoed in the chamber, a quiet declaration that felt more powerful than any weapon. "We are humans. We are here." The stars outside seemed to shimmer with a new possibility, witnessing a moment that would be remembered for generations to come. Humanity's reckoning had begun. The chamber grew quiet. Some delegates laughed. Others looked confused. A few seemed genuinely concerned. The orbital domain representative, a being composed of interconnected energy patterns, spoke next. "Your species has not even achieved complete planetary unity. How could you represent a galactic threat?" Park simply smiled. "That's precisely why we are dangerous." He detailed how human internal conflicts had paradoxically created their greatest strengths. Competition, innovation, the constant drive to overcome limitations. While other species sought stability, humans thrived on change. Technological examples followed. Quantum communication developed in months. Advanced medical nanobots created from competitive research. Space exploration technologies that reimagined fundamental physics. "We do not seek conflict," Park continued, "but we will defend ourselves with every resource available. And our resources are limited only by human imagination." A holographic display showed human settlements across different planetary environments. Harsh volcanic worlds, frozen ice planets, toxic atmospheric conditions. In each scenario, humans had not just survived but established thriving communities. Ambassador Lee leaned forward. She understood what the others missed. This was not a presentation. This was a declaration. As Park concluded his presentation, the reaction was mixed. Most delegates laughed, dismissing the warning as overblown propaganda. The Trell representatives made mocking gestures. The orbital domain simply flickered with what seemed like disinterest. But Ambassador Lee saw something different. In Park's eyes, in the carefully selected evidence, she recognized a profound truth. Humanity was something entirely unexpected in the galactic ecosystem. "The Galactic Council is hereby warned," Park said, his final words hanging in the chamber. "Humanity is coming. The session ended. Delegates departed, most forgetting the presentation within moments. They would remember soon enough. In the empty chamber, only the holographic display remained, cycling through images of human achievement, human potential, a silent testament to a species about to change everything. Outside, the stars continued their ancient dance, unaware of the transformation that was coming. The skies above New Terra darkened as massive alien ships blocked out the sunlight. Commander Hoon Choi watched from an underground command center, his hand steady on the communication console. The Meridian fleet had arrived, their ship designs unlike anything humans had encountered before. Massive triangular structures that seemed to ripple with impossible energy. Initial communications were brief. The alien commander, a being whose translation device produced a cold, mechanical voice, demanded immediate surrender. Human colony, you will comply with Meridian occupation protocols. Resistance is futile. Choi looked at his team. Young faces, determined faces. They had trained for this moment, but nobody truly believed it would come. Prepare defensive protocols, he said quietly.